voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Okay, it's the Viper 4567 here with my last edition of the 1998 Attitude Hour, part of the Attitude Hour. This is WWF Rock Bottom. This was in Vancouver, British Columbia, and have a crowd of over 20,000 people. So the last pay-per-view of 1998, and the last video for a while of this series, because obviously, as I've said, probably about 7 or 8. I'm heading off to Spain in approximately 2.5 weeks. And I kind of just want to take a little break before that, so I go off and enjoy myself in the sun. And plus, actually, over here in Ireland, it's been absolutely fantastic over the past 8 to 9 days. We've had some fantastic weather, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. And plus, with the World Cup as well, I do not want to do many videos. I'm doing this video, and I'm also doing Raw in a couple of after this as well. So, because I haven't done a Raw video in quite a while. So we begin with Val Venis. D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry defeating Val Venis and the Godfather in an okay match to kick off the show. So Val Venis and the Godfather have been teaming up over the last couple of months or so. Basically, obviously, they gel together because of the fact that Godfather's a pimp and Val Venis is a porn star. So they both kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, and plus obviously they did mention Godfather and D'Lo obviously and Mark Henry all being a part of the Nation, which was kind of cool. Spine Buster from Val and D'Lo. Good to see King obviously mentioned in the Nation. Nice kick from Godfather, splash in the corner from the Godfather. Power slam from Henry, and then a splash in the corner from Henry, and then a sit down powerbomb from D'Lo on Val Venis. D'Lo misses the sky high double underhook suplex from Val and Godfather. Jackie then slaps Val, and then a big splash from Henry gets the win. So yeah, wasn't anything spectacular. I'd give it a star and a quarter. So yeah, then we see Mankind attacking Rock on in a skybox on Sunday Night Heat, and if Rock forfeit can't make it to the match, he forfeits obviously, and that's why it goes to Mankind. So yeah, next match then, the Headbangers defeat the Oddities in a fucking piss poor match. Really piss poor. I'm really getting sick of the Oddities. I never really liked them. I think they were long association with the fucking Insane Clown Posse. If people don't know who they are, they're obviously a rap group. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of their music, to be quite honest. I do like rap, but just never was a big fan of the Insane Clown Posse. No, I do respect what they've done and all that. Heard they scared Eminem out of a club one time, or they were going to beat him up or something. I heard something about that. But anyway, they've actually split from the Oddities and all this lovely thing. So sidewalk slam from Kurgan. You wouldn't think he was part of the fucking True Commission, would you? Headbangers then cut the hair of Luna a couple of weeks previous on Raw. Double clothesline from Gora. Leg drop gets 2 for him. Double suplex down from the Headbangers. Smash them with a crossbody or something like that to get the win. It was a horrible match. Really horrible. It went way too long, and I'm going to give it a straight up dud. Next match, then, see Blackman defeats Owen Hart by countout, and actually a pretty good match, I must say. I didn't like the way the way the match ended, to be quite honest. I just think the fact that Owen Hart is in Canada, Owen was still considered a heel, though, because he did do a lot of heely stuff in this. Like Blackman would have been, if Owen Hart has been acting the babyface, obviously Blackman would have been the heel, but I just didn't like the way the match ended. He did a lot of fucking cowardly stuff. Like, you think when you're back in your hometown, like, you'd be the face, you'd do all what baby faces would do, but not in this match. But he gets a great reaction from the start and all that, but it was still he got booed kind of a few times, which is to be expected. Not everyone would have liked Owen Hart anyway, but okay. I just didn't like the way the match went. It was a good match, a really decent pace for Steve Blackman, innit? Leg drop from Hart, backdrop then from Blackman, insecurity from Owen Hart, snap suplex from Hart, and a knee to the face. Big USA sucks chant base, which was great. Baseball slide from Blackman, Hart goes low on Blackman, nice spinning heel kick then from Hart gets 2. Another snap suplex from Hart, and then a diving elbow from the top gets 2. Another insecurity gets 2 for Hart. Blackman whips Hart into the exposed turnbuckle and a drop kick. Dragon sleeper from Hart, but Blackman gets out of it. Lovely DDT then from Owen Hart. Blackman then with the sharpshooter, but Hart gets to the ropes. Owen then walks away, so he gets counted out. As I said, the match was going good. I would have given this could have been almost 3-star rating if it had to go on a little bit longer, and it wasn't such a shitty finish to the match. I thought it was a very bad way to finish what was actually a pretty decent match, I must say. But the reason why Owen Hart hasn't been seen for apparently when he injured Dan Severn on Raw a couple months back, he just quit basically, and he blames Blackman for Blackman for something basically. So yeah, so Mr. McMahon then is looking for Mankind. He comes to this boiler room type thing. He goes in and he talks to him about something. I'd say it was obviously about the WWF Championship basically. So, and all that lovely stuff. So, next match, the Brood defeat the Drop Squad in a decent match. Now, this match was a decent match. I must say it went pretty damn decent. Drop Squad cost Christian the light heavyweight title a few weeks back against Dwayne Gill, aka Gilbert, which is good for him apparently. I don't know why they decided to put the title on a jobber, but sure. Power slam from Bob Holly on Edge. If you don't know who was in the Job Squad, it was Al Snow, Bob Holly, and at that time Scorpio basically. Nice suplex slam from Holly, double hooked into a power bomb from Holly on Christian. Heel kick from Scorpio and then a headbutt from Snow and Christian. Then a clothesline. Snow then with a suplex gets 2 on Gangrel. And Scurry then from Snow on Edge. Big brawl on the outside. Snow hits Christian with head. Edge springboard by using Gangrel as a catapult onto Holly and Snow. Christian does the I'm prettier on Scorpio for the win. So yeah, it was very decent. It was decent enough. I'd give it a 1.5 stars. It could have been a 2-star if it was a little bit better. But like, it wasn't a bad match. To be fair, so far we've had some. Like, we've had a 2 1/4, a 1/2 star, 1/4, and it was not the greatest, but still a lot better than the last couple of pay-per-views we've had. Next match then, Jeff Jarrett defeats Goldust in a good-ish match. I thought I gave it 2 stars. I thought it was decent. If Jarrett loses, Deborah has to basically show off her tits, basically, or Goldust loses to show off his body, basically. Spinebuster from Goldust, Jarrett hangs Goldust on the ropes. Arm breaker from Jarrett, and then swinging neck breaker gets 2 for Jarrett. Suplex then from Goldust. Now, although he drop kick gets 2 for Jarrett, he does do some great drop kicks. I must say, really impressed by the way he does it. Excuse me. Suplex gets 2 for Goldust. Curtain call then from Goldust, but Deborah distracts the ref. Bulldog then gets 2 for Goldust. Shattered Dreams from Goldust, but Deborah hits Goldust with the guitar. A face buster gets the win for Jarrett. Decent match, to be fair. I give it 2 stars. After the match, then HBK comes out. Says that if you bring in a guitar that results basically as a disqualification. Crowd go nuts because the winner is Goldust. HBK tells Deborah to take off her clothes. HBK looks like he has a stiff one. HBK puts money in Deborah's cleavage, which was fucking hilarious. HBK says he loves his job. Jarrett then and Blue Blazer cover up Deborah, which the crowd do not like. And McMahon leaves. Then after that, then we see McMahon leaving Mankind's office and his big smile on it. So he's basically pulling one over Mankind again. So yeah. Next match in the New Age Outlaws defeat Big Boss Man and Ken Shamrock in a fucking. This was a poor. I gave it a star. It was a very poor match. It was way too. At least 7 or 8 minutes too long. Shawn Michaels was with Boss Man Shamrock. Obviously, he's with the corporation. It's just way too long of a match. I think it went at least almost 15 minutes. Way too long. But the Outlaws outsmarted the corporation. They thought they were going to join them. They had suits on, but they basically got a ruse. So, and obviously the Outlaws actually wrestled on was a Sunday Night Heat against the Acolytes. So that was basically their punishment. So yeah, now they have to face that one. Then obviously they have to face Boss Man and Shamrock, which to a lot of people. So yeah. Going rams Bossman into the post, double backdrop then from the Outlaws. That gets 2. Shake, rattle, and knee drop from the Road Dogg. Famous surf from going on Shamrock, then base from Shamrock and Road Dogg. Road Dogg really gets the shit kicked out of him throughout this whole. I think he was actually basically. I think he was getting his ass kicked for at least 7 minutes, maybe. Not far off. It was a long time. Close line from Shamrock then on Road Dogg. Road Dogg then with a backdrop on Bossman. Bossman hits the Outlaws with the nice stick shower course for 2. HBK pulls Guns like, but that does not work, so Gun gets the win on Shamrock. So it was a piss poor match. Like, basically, it wasn't anything spectacular. And then again, the Outlaws really haven't been in many great matches this year, so a star. Next match then, the Rock. Well, Mankind defeats The Rock. But he obviously doesn't get, but he does not get the WWF championship. This is very fucking confusing. The match was okay. I gave it 2.5 stars. It wasn't anything particular. It's not the best match. There's better matches coming up down the line, obviously. But this is probably the worst they've had, probably. Rock is with the McMahons in the ring. McMahon says to Mankind, "Do you have a pen? Like, sign the contract." Mankind says he'd love to kick Rock's ass. Mankind talks about saying that he would never quit. Man says to Rock he has no guts. McMahon tells man to talk to him on his knees. McMahon says you did quit, and the crowd chants asshole. Says did quit, and blah blah blah. Mankind rams Rock into the steps. Then Mankind rams the steps into the ribs of the Rock. Clothesline on the outside for Mankind. Man says if Mankind does anything on the outside, he will be DQ'd. He says that's the referee. Rock chokes Mankind on the outside. Rock then with a suplex on the outside. Rock launches Mankind off the apron onto the floor thanks to Shane distracting him. Rock then talks on commentary and then rams Mankind into the table and spits water in the face of him. Rock then with a beautiful DDT on the chair and then the people's elbow gets 2. Swinging neck breaker from Mankind. Leg drop then gets 2 from Mankind. McMahon says to the ref to DQ him with Mankind. Before the referee can even do that, pile drives the referee, which was fucking beautiful. Absolutely, like McMahon goes to him and says like DQ him, and the referee goes really for that, oh. And Mankind just fucking grabs him, pile drives him, beautiful. Rock hits Mankind then with a chair and a rock bottom. Shane goes to hit Mankind with a belt, but he ducks and hits the Rock. Mankind gets 2 off that. Mankind gets Sacco, and obviously Rock passes out, so obviously Mankind wins the match. And everyone thinks, oh yes, Mankind's the WWF champion. But my man gets on the mat and says Mankind wins the match, but not the title. He did not type out or say I quit, which you could get because like obviously he didn't quit, he just passed out. So Mankind gets Sacco on both McMahon. Shane hits Mankind then with Sacco. Shane hits Mankind and then Mankind then with Sacco and Vince and Shane, as I said, right on knee and to McMahon. Then the lackeys come out, they get on, but Bossman and Shamrock then just attack him and all that. So yeah. So overall the match was really not that great. Like it was not bad either. It was the worst match they've probably had over the series of matches that they had. So I'd give it 2.5 stars. Could give it, actually I'll give it 3 stars because it actually was a pretty entertaining match, but it's just the finish did not really make a lot of sense really, because Mankind's won a lot of matches with the Man McClaw. It's just the fact is they could have left the Rock win by a screw finish or something. It would have been a lot better, but sure, look, that's just me. So yeah, so 3 stars. Probably slightly overrating it, but I thought it was a good match. It was, I enjoyed it. Like the odds were stacked against Mankind basically from the start. So yeah, so next match then, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats the Undertaker in the second ever Buried Alive match. Now, I've not watched the first match between Undertaker and Mankind. I am going to watch it. I've seen the one between Taker and McMahon, and it was not that great. I think I've seen the tag team Buried Alive match between Big Show and Undertaker, and I think Rock and Mankind, and that was okay. Like Buried Alive matches are not particularly fucking great, to be quite honest. They're not really, because like it's just I don't get the whole concept of Buried Alive, because at the end of the day, like they don't die. Like think if you're supposed to be buried alive, that means you're supposed to die. Like Undertaker came when he gets buried alive in this match, he comes back what about less than 5 weeks later, less than that even. I don't know how long it takes for him to come back to. That's what I think he comes back even before the Royal Rumble. So like, it just doesn't make sense really. They could have had a last man standing match. They could have had a night quit match. They could have had other things, or first blood even, whatever. So I just don't get buried alive matches, to be honest, really. So yeah, like if you're going to have a buried alive match, make sure Taker doesn't come back for very long. Like he did, like the moment the McMahon match made a little bit more sense. He didn't come back for about 5 months. So I just don't get it. So to start off with Austin and Taker fight on the outside, Austin chokes Taker with some TV cables. Taker big boots Austin with a security railing. Whatever. Taker and Austin fight by the crowd. Lou Faz president from Austin. Austin rams Taker balls first into the ring post. Taker breaks up the Spanish announcer's table. Taker rams Austin into the ring post. Austin then puts Taker in the grave. Taker hits Austin then with a funeral wreath or something like that. Taker and Austin then go in the grave. They fight back into the crowd. Taker rams Austin back first into the ring post. Taker then with a chokeslam. Austin then hits Taker with a gas, kind of like a can thing. Austin with a stunner. Taker goes into the grave. Austin asks for the trying to be lifted or something. And then a big explosion. Taker comes out of the grave and a big fucking massive ass explosion comes out. And then all of a sudden you see Kane coming out of the grave, which was awesome. Kane and Taker go at it. It looked like Taker was kind of getting the upper hands. He goes for a tombstone, but I think Undertaker sees Austin coming out in a fucking digger. Big massive tractor digger basically. So Kane gets the upper hand and gives him a tombstone pile driver, and that puts him into the grave. I think Taker goes low. Kane goes low on Taker, or it's Taker one of them. Kane then with a tombstone on the grave. Austin then brings out the digger. It's basically shit because the guy takes so long to fucking put the dirt into the grave. like, I'm not being smart. Like, yeah, Tombstone Pile Driver is fucking, like, it will put you out for a while, and especially then if it's on fucking, it's not on. So basically, yeah, I can understand that, but it shouldn't take what, it took a bit the best part of maybe 5 minutes. And this, like, it just looked like he never used a digger before, and it just looked really poor. But Austin then wins the match, has a beer with the referee, and then he basically just throws some beer, pours some beer into the grave. So overall, it wasn't a great match. I give it 2.5 stars. It wasn't particularly great. You could give it 3 stars. I'd have no problem with that. But any higher, I think it's a bit ridiculous. It was a decent match. It was a decent brawl, but it's not what we've ever seen before. Like, there's better matches than that. Like, Austin and Undertaker traditionally have never had great matches throughout the years. So yeah, so overall this pay-per-view wasn't actually as, over the last we could say even the last kind of 3 or 4 pay have been pretty damn poor. This one wasn't great neither. There wasn't anything particularly great on the card, but it was a lot better than the last 2. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 10. So yeah, so as at the end, so we've come to the end of 1998. I've done 97. I thought 97 was pretty damn okay. We had 3 to 4 very good pay-per-views. Couple of bad ones, obviously a bad WrestleMania. 1998 hasn't been particularly great, to be quite honest. We've had some memorable moments, no doubt about that. We've had some great moments, but most of these moments have been on Raw. To be fair, we've had a couple of decent pay-per-views, but nothing special. We've had some memorable moments with a decent WrestleMania. I wouldn't say it was great. We've had a couple of other decent pay-per-views in between. Like, could say SummerSlam was pretty good. Probably the best pay-per-view of the year, probably. So yeah, so overall 1998 probably is not as good as 97 in my opinion. I think 97 was a good year. 98 as a whole, in terms of if you include Raw, was probably better than 97, because obviously you had the battle with this is where the battle with WCW kind of started to take kind of full control. But you could see WWE starting to get ahead of WCW in the ratings, and the fact is that the pay-per-views were getting WCW's pay-per-views getting slightly worse. WWE's weren't great, but still he had some memorable moments. So yeah. So overall, 1998 was a bit of a disappointment. But then again, 1999 is not going to be that great either, because from what I've heard from reviews, they're absolutely. But I'm still going to review them because I just love the attitude there. It was one of my favorite years, and plus I grew up watching wrestling during that period. So like, compared to what wrestling is now, like it's just it's still kind of good. Like, there's some good matches. It's not the same. Like, it's not even women showing their breasts. It's not even that. The fact is, it was hard hitting, fast paced, in your face, basically wrestling. Nowadays it's just like, oh, I'll fight you, but we have to be careful with the kids, basically, kind of shit. So, but as I've said, this pay-per-view is a 3.5. The most you could give it is a 4, but other than that, you'll just be wasting your time. So this was the Fight for 4567. I'll talk to you guys pretty soon, so take it easy.